Good morning, everybody. Really welcome to our wonderful new webinar. Today we will talk about our new focus. You probably know that the MobileNAV team is focusing on warehousing this year. Last year we have just created a really nice solution for field service industry called ServOcean, but this year is about warehousing. So at the beginning, yeah, I'm just sharing my web camera for just let you know, you all knowing who's doing the talking, but I will turn this stuff off. Before I'm jumping into the demonstration, let me introduce myself for those who may not know me. I'm Shandor Brechuk, Department Manager of the MobileNAV team, and I will show you this demonstration today. And those were the things that I will show you. Actually, before starting the demonstration, I would like to just show you a couple of stuffs around me. I will use this guy, which is an industrial device. It's an Intermec stuff during the demonstration, and another stuff that I will use is my laptop computer as a demo computer. I will use this really nice external laser barcode scanner. Okay, so warehouse is mostly about barcode scanning. And we will use those two stuffs, and that's I will just turn off the web camera to save the bandwidth, and yeah, that's thing that two scanner types just drives me to the fact, to the first point actually. That's first point actually, in my really nice PPT, which is, here we go. Now you can see my screen. So those are the highlights for today. And yeah, the first point is MobileNAV works on virtually every platform. Actually, practically works on every platform nowadays, because we have a new device-specific heat mode, which means MobileNAV can work in a character mode on each and every platform. So as you may choose to use something like a tablet or stuff like that in a warehouse, that's perfectly well. That's perfectly okay with us. You can configure MobileNAV and an external or an internal scanner in heat mode. We have a really nice wizard. You can solve all the keyboard problems that might exist. It's obviously not a problem in the English-speaking countries, but in other countries we have specific keyboards. MobileNAV will translate the special characters to the correct one. So let's see what we will show today. Those who knows me will probably guess that this demonstration will be extremely straightforward, direct and effective. So you can expect something like a half an hour demonstration. The reason I am talking now is, first of all, I would like to underline all of the points here. And the second point is people tends to join a little bit late. So we are just talking approximately 5 minutes, and after that I will start the demonstration. We have a really great number of attendees already. So yeah, let's talk about the other topics here. I will show you the how to do a warehouse receipt and put away with MobileNAV in a warehouse setup. I will show you the smart scanning, which is a really interesting, nice new feature for us. It's gives you the possibility to scan virtually whatever you want, and the system will understand what you are scanning. We have online and offline mode. That's quite important, I think, in the future. It's not super necessary in a warehouse, we believe. Normally a warehouse has a strong Wi-Fi, but sometimes it's not perfectly true. We can set up an offline operation. As you may remember, we have offline JavaScript execution, so we can do whatever validation you need, actually, and especially in the warehouse as well. Okay, but in online mode, MobileNAV posting with not enough standard logic. That also means that all of your customizations will take place. So no need for extra implementation hours. Yeah, the whole goal of concentrating on WMS this year is to cut the implementation cost, cut the implementation time for a warehouse operation. And the first step is this demonstration. You will see how effective it is already, and new features will come pretty soon. You probably know that we have a cost-effective licensing. We obviously have a Microsoft ISV device license, which is designed for warehousing actually, and it's far cheaper than a full user. That's what Microsoft gives us as an extra, so everybody could use proper, perfectly wide licensing, and it is cost effective enough, we believe, to buy it. So nobody should multiplexing. There is no need for multiplexing anymore. You can use the ISV device license. Yep, we can do NFC tag reading. That's the last thing that that is in my bag for today. So as you bring it with home today with you, you might remember during the next lead. As you need NFC tag reading, we can do it for you. Okay, and at this point, let's stop talking and do some action. On the screen, I logged in a MobileNAV tablet version actually, but of course MobileNAV, as I demonstrated to you, runs on many other devices, only the look and feel is different. So the MobileNAV is a native application, therefore we have perfect barcode scanning, perfect stops, and MobileNAV adapts to the device. So as you install MobileNAV on a device, MobileNAV will recognize the device actually and will use all of the device capabilities. So we are inside inventory. Yeah, just a little bit background for you. We have a virtual machine that I will use during the demonstration. It's called MobileNAV Demo Computer. Any of you that may want to try out the same thing that I'm showing you today, could just drop an email and I will send you the link where from. This is a Google Drive actually, and you can download the MobileNAV VM. This is a Hyper-V image actually, so it runs on each and every Windows computer that you have. You don't have to install it, and takes hours to set up a demonstration system. So I have a VM in the background. I have already created sales orders, of course, to create some warehouse related stuff like warehouse shipment picks, and I have created some purchase orders, of course, for the receipt process. So here we are. This is the inventory part. I have just opened up a small manufacturing part as well. So in this demonstration, two profile was attached to my Novision ID, which means I am a warehouse user and a manufacturing user as well, because I would like to show you really nice features on consumption journals, obviously. So the first thing that you could do, of course, is an item list. Not a big task, but of course on an item list you can scan pretty effectively and no magic. The item card will open automatically, and one really nice feature I think that we have here is the add cross reference number. So as you may have newer and newer barcodes for an item, you can just simply add it as a warehouse user using this feature of MobileNAV. I think it's a really handy stuff. But let's talk about the bin content. As I'm shooting for the bin content, I would like to just refer back to one of my points, which is smart scanning. This is the filter request form for the bin content, right? And in this example, we have three fields here that is barcode readable. And of course, I can read the barcode right to here. As I click here, I can put the barcode, focus on the location code or on the bin code or on the item code, and I can set up normally in a code a barcode focus top sequence as well. That is old stuff. That works pretty well. But what we have created here, and the idea came from one of our resellers in the UK, Enough People. Thank you for the idea, actually. So what we have implemented here is a smart barcode scanning. So as I just apply this request form without any filtering, I can see the full list, the whole bin content, right? And at this point, I will just scan for the location code first, yeah, which is white in this case. yeah, I have printed out barcodes in front of me, and I'm scanning on that, of course. So yeah, I shrink the list already. So MobileNAV recognized what I have scanned here. And then as I just scan the list is much shorter, and as I shoot for the item, it's of course finds the related stuff. So the magic has just happened. So what's happened here? I, I am super enthusiastic of that thing. So whatever you scan, MobileNAV validates the answer into the correct field. And please remember that this is a generic feature, a general stuff. You can create smart scanning wherever you want. Okay, we have just created it. We have created in many places actually. It's available throughout the system. In this demonstration, I'm showing it to you in a bin content. Yeah, so it's figured out what you have scanned. I think it's a super nice thing. So we have one barcode field here, and you don't have to worry what you are scanning. That's a super nice thing. Yeah, maybe the next thing that I would like to show you is a consumption journal in manufacturing, because that's also have this smart scanning feature set, but feature set it up already. As you probably know, MobileNAV could be used for manufacturing, and we can do many more. You can open the release production orders, etc., but it's very likely not necessary. The most likely case that the guy doing in a manufacturing environment is just create a new consumption line or create a new output journal line. So I will hit on the new consumption journal line here. Yeah, please don't forget that I'm using my pointer, of course, and I can click on the line with my hand as well. But it's super important that using a device like I have shown you at the beginning of the demonstration, like an Intermax stop or something that has a keyboard, we have keyboard shortcuts. So you can assign, let's say, number one, the keyboard number one to the consumption journal and number two to the output journal, and you will just simply hit the button and MobileNAV will opening up the related stuff. Okay, so yeah, let's do the action again. We are on the consumption journal here, and we have plenty of fields, barcode readable. Yeah, and I've just stopped because I tend to scan it in a correct order, but I don't have to. So maybe I can scan the item number first. Okay, so let's try with the item number, which is obviously bicycle, our favorite demo item, right? So it's filled out the item number, and as I scanning the order number, it's well validated, of course, and the order line number is filled out automatically. The order line number could be barcode readable as well. As you have the order line number barcode here, then of course you can scan that as well. I think it's a super nice stuff. Okay, so you can scan the location code, let's say white, and you can scan the bin code, obviously, let's say that one. Yeah, it has directed pick and put away, which is a nice thing. So the white location has a directly figure out the barcode on its own. But I think you get the idea, yeah? And the only thing is left is just add the quantity. Yeah, and that's it. So the clever barcode scanning works super nicely. As I know what I'm doing, as I know the white warehouse is not the white warehouse for me, then everything works well. Okay, so yeah, clever barcode scanning everywhere. Please use the idea and help out all of the warehouse people. Okay, so that was one topic. But sometimes in real life, we do the opposite thing. With the clever barcode scanning, you let your warehouse operator scan whatever they want. They let the warehouse operators to scan without a specific scan sequence. But sometimes a warehouse operation is so difficult, and sometimes a warehouse operation requires a workflow-like act. So sometimes you require your warehouse operator to scan everything that must be scanned. It should not be forgot stuffs. And I've just created some pics for that demonstration. In the pic, we have the next topic demonstrated, which is actually proof-driven workflow, which is two things actually. One thing is sometimes you are validating or searching a list by scanning. Okay, like here. So I can scan a bicycle, an actual item, and it will find the line, and it will shows the line details, right? But of course, everything is filled out already. So with the validation, I can validate something instead of change the item number here. So in the normal operation in NAV, if I scan something else than a bicycle here, right, it tries to validate it, tries to rewrite it. Yeah. In this case, even if I am, let's say, at the correct before the correct bin, okay, let's do an action. I will just scan the bicycle again, and the system will validate the field for me. It's super important. It's not so obvious here because it's obvious that I will scan the bicycle. But let's imagine that the bicycle could be on many different bins. So sometimes the guy just picking from the incorrect bin. So this next step is super important, I think. So even if the bin code is, so this is a directed pick, right? We have a bin code already filled out. Even if the bin code is there, I still have to scan the bin code. Therefore, the bin will be validated. So I cannot pick from the wrong bin using this method. That was one part of this stuff. And the second part of this stuff is the workflow-like behavior. Okay, so you can see two things here. One is the validation. Even if the data exists, you can validate it. You can enforce the user to scan the stuff, ensuring, for example, that they are in front of the right bin. And the second part of this thing is the workflow. We have set it up a workflow. They have to scan the item first. We can start with other points as well. And then the last part, as you could see here, is the quantity to handle. It is a bicycle, it's a super simple stuff. So as I fill out the quantity to handle, you will see that the register button will appear here. So I am just hit the quantity to handle, and I can hit the register following that. Yeah, I have just scanned first and focusing on that line actually. As you can see on the list, as you're doing the validation here on the list, you can see which line was validated and which line is before validation actually. Okay. Yeah, let's do the same thing for an item tracked stuff, because the workflow a little bit different when you have a serial number. For example, this monitor is serialized, so I will just scan the item number first. Yeah, the bin code again, this is the same bin. So I'm scanning the bin. A quantity to handle is 1, which is nice. But the next step here is to scan the serial number, okay, which should be the number 1. Here we go. And after that, we will have the register button. Okay. Of course, in the header, of course, we have register button on the header, and with this validation. So yeah, let's be honest. Before that feature, you should scan on the line. It's pretty logical actually. So I like to scan each and every line when I have finished, because the next operation could start immediately. But sometimes you want to scan a batch. You know, some warehouse operators tend to handle batches. As you want to handle a batch, you can hit the register button, but you don't know whether everything is filled out or not. From that point, it is possible with MobileNAV. You will just simply see whether all of the lines was validated or not. And if the full batch was validated, then you can hit the register button here. Okay, so that was the pick actually. So yeah, let's try to. Yeah, you're right. You know, the typical stuff here. Okay, so that is the validation for pick. Yeah, and let's do the same thing in a little bit different way. for the shipment, which is that one. Okay, the warehouse shipment here. I have a partially picked one, so I will shoot for that. Oh, it has loudspeakers. Okay, I will shoot them for something that contains an item that I have a barcode for, which is this last one. Okay, and there we go. The validation will be the same, but the behavior is different. As you might notice, during the pick, I can see all of the fields that I have to validate, but I can just simply scan the correct one. In this behavior, as I'm scanning something, it's a third part of this stuff. We can build up something like a Mac on MobileNAV. So you won't see unnecessary things. You will see a new field just when you need it. Okay, I think it's a better method. I like this method actually, so I want to just focus on the problem that I have to handle. And when I scan the item, in this case, you can imagine much more difficult warehouse workflow as this one. For that, it's super important that you will just see the things that you have to handle. Meanwhile, you can check, MobileNAV shows everything in context. So meanwhile, you can check what is the next operation for you on the middle column. Yeah. So yeah, the next thing here is again the bin code validation, which is a different bin for me today. And let's say one. So as I hit this, it's not picked, so I won't do this. All right. Let's do some other stuff. Let's do the opposite thing. So I have just demonstrated to you the shipment and the pick, the MobileNAV related stuff. Posting is standard NAV, so it works like NAV itself. But yeah, let's do some receipts and putaways. Okay, so as I shoot for a receipt, here is a monitor, the same stuff that I'm normally using during my demonstrations. Okay, and as you may remember, the monitor is actually serialized. Okay, so you need a serial number for that. This is the receipt. Okay, so you don't have as many lines, as many serial numbers as you will have during the put away. So you have to just drill down to the item tracking, and you probably know that MobileNAV have full-blown item tracking. We can do the same thing that NAV can do. Plus we have extra features like add serial number here. So as I am just start scanning the serial numbers here on my desk, MobileNAV will create the lines. Here we go. Very good. So I can create 4 serial number with ease. In a real warehouse environment, it's much quicker actually. And that's it. So I think it's again just an example what you can do with MobileNAV. Okay, but in general, the message should be here that we have extra features, we have workflow, we have smart scanning nowadays. Plus we have, of course, we believe a full-blown inventory management here. So you can access any part of the inventory management of the NAV system. Okay, so you can do plenty of other things. You can do transfer orders with MobileNAV, of course. Yeah, so you can transfer things from to, etc. Just a normal thing in NAV. I will just underline what we have on the top of the new features. Of course, we have physical journals, we have warehouse physical inventory journal. As you have prepared it, of course. So you can do the physical journals without any problem. You can do the item reclassification journal, which is a super handy stuff. During the warehouse operation, we always use the bin content. Okay, so you cannot pick something that should not be there. So in real life, during the first couple of weeks, they will just correct the inventory using the item reclassification journals as you follow our method. So we have item reclassification journals. to change bins, to change serial numbers, correct stuff, problems in general, and we have our to-do journal. Okay, so for today, that was my really straightforward and quick demonstration. At this point, I would like to thank for everybody to join, but please do not leave, because you might have some questions, and as you have a question, it is the time to ask it. For that, you can use the go to webinar question feature. So please find the related part in go to webinar and ask the questions as you may have any. We have a question. Yeah, the question is it possible to select the document number when the document number is scanned? It is obviously possible. I was just a lazy salesman and do not, so I forgot to print out some document number. Therefore, I hide the barcode icon from that part. But yes, of course, it is possible. We have not seen offline functionality. Could we have a look? This is the second question. For warehousing, we do the offline case by case, I would say. So we do not have a general offline functionality for warehousing because we have not decided what to create. Actually, each and every end user requires a different stuff. So that's why you have not seen it. Actually, there is a point. So as you know, when you're synchronizing, first of all, a couple of words about that though. We have automatic background synchronization. So when you work in offline mode, it's synchronizing in the background and you don't have to do anything. Okay, it's handling the problems in the background because we have offline administrator cockpit. So we do have the technology for that, and we should use it, but we do it on. So we are creating offline functionality for each and every case. Plus we have you know, the online synchronization stuff. So when the stuff synchronizing, you can get back the error message immediately. So as a warehouse operator can solve the problem. We have plenty of stuff for offline operation, and we could use it, but at the moment we don't have an offline configuration for warehousing. Is it possible to manage SCC barcode? I don't know. It's depending on the device, actually. So Tibor will write an answer for you, I think. Okay, I don't know if we could handle SCC barcode or not. But actually, if the device understands it, all presented features are available in version 4.6, or it is some special version. You're right, this is the 4.7 version. So some part of the features like smart barcode scanning, wizard or workflow-like behavior validations belongs to the 4.7. All right. Could we automate quantity validation to increase when we make an item scan in pickings? That's obviously true. As you create something like a typical quantity on an item card, for example, then each and every scan could mean a validation for 5. Let's say the typical handle quantity is 5 for your item, so 1 scan means 5. That's right. We have this feature actually in the general demonstration in the sales order line. So we can create a sales order line in the base configuration in that way. So if I'm just scanning an item, it will add a sales order line. If I scan again, it will add the, plus the quantity on the related sales order line. The same is possible for picking, obviously. So that's true, yeah. So let's say the first scan, we invalidate the item number and add the first 5 to the quantity to handle, and the second we'll add the second 5. It is obviously possible, and we have done it, and our partners have done it many times. It is not in the base configuration because it's relatively simply to do. So the way it works on the onValidate trigger of the scan field. So for the clever barcode scanning, we have a dummy field that's, let's say, barcode scanning field, and the onValidate trigger of that field will handle those logics. For example, it could increase the quantity to handle automatically. So yeah, it seems we are running out of questions. So thank you for joining me today. I won't waste your time anymore, I think. As you may have additional questions, please just write an email. You will get a follow-up email after this demonstration. In this follow-up email, you will find the recording. Okay, so we have recorded this webinar. And please join to our next webinar, which is about the 4.7's release in November. For today, I would like to thank you for joining me, and yeah, let's meet next time. Have a wonderful day for everybody. Bye bye.